if you start like glitching out while we're actually doing the episode, like we can just say, "Hey, so Snidler is having some technical difficulties on his end." So
like
He's being
we did in
invaded by the
season
web.
1. Yeah. Like
Yeah.
you did in season 1. Yeah. Or straight up robot voices and
That's all right.
yeah.
yeah.
Ooh,
Mercy to a virus? Never.
ReBoot!
Yeah, real alphanumeric.
That's ReBoot. It lets you download useful tools, skills, and weapons from the game into your own code.
They call me Wise One. The one I understand. The Wise, I'm not so sure about.
Alphanumeric! Yeah! Cool!
Asphyxiations, ReBoot fans, and welcome to another episode of Alphanumeric, a ReBoot podcast, where we discuss every episode of ReBoot from beginning to end, from Season 1 to Season 4. I am your host, AP Snidler, and joining me is... Where are you? There or there?
Who are you pointing at, good sir?
You, Christopher Siege.
Oh, I am another one of your hosts, Christopher Siege, and today I killed Lady Dimistreak in Resident Evil Village.
Fantastic. Who else is here?
I am here. NeoCal.
NeoCal is here. And today we are discussing episode... Sorry, hold on. Is this episode 6? It's episode 6.
It is episode 6.
Season 3 of ReBoot. And
is it
gotta tell
really
you-
episode 6?
Is it episode 6?
Is it really?
It might be episode
Are you
6.
sure?
Could be
It
episode
is, wow.
875.
It
But
is.
today we're discussing a very interesting episode. I'm excited about it, but also not excited about it. It's interesting.
Where
It is
no
called
sprite has gone before.
Where No Sprite Has Gone Before.
I'm excited
And
to
it-
talk about it. I'm not excited about the episode itself.
No,
I
it's an
thought I was
interesting
gonna be
one.
a minority on this one.
It's kind of like we can do comparisons later. Original air date September 24th, 1997, and I'm not sure if it's any different anywhere else, but it might have come out earlier in the UK. I didn't see it.
Probably.
Does anyone else know?
I wasn't in the UK in 1997. No.
Nobody cares.
They do every other episode. I don't know. I haven't seen it.
So, yeah. We're
It's
in
an
a new
interesting
system.
where no sprite has gone before, and we are in a new system, and we open on a GameCube ending. And
On a new system that looks really cool.
yeah, it looks really sweet. Actually, I like this one. And it's like there's like planets,
Like a
and there's
glass
rocks, and it's
city?
kind of like a
Inside of like a rocky crater.
yeah, with like
Hey.
planets in the sky.
In the distance, there's another glass city.
Mm-hmm.
What?
And there's snowy mountains in the background. So there's not like an infinite energy like river surrounding this place. It's all like a rocky planet.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, blow me down. There it is. Sweet. There's a few actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So interesting. So,
So we open on. Sorry, go on.
no, I just thought that was interesting. That means that they live
Very
in
nice,
small
Christopher.
cities, very
That's
far.
awesome.
They live in small cities, spread out.
Yeah.
Maybe it's so that when games land, they have a less chance of hitting civilization.
There we go.
Love it.
Christopher, what are
Captain's
we
logs.
looking at here?
I actually don't know what we are looking at because I wasn't listening.
Oh, I meant on your. You said there we go. And you pointed
What's
to
the
something.
thing?
Oh yes,
that you
yes.
placed
Sorry
before us?
for audio listeners. To my left, I placed a coffee table book called Captain's Logs: The Unauthorized Complete Trek Voyages. The only one-volume guide to every episode of classic Trek, The Next Generation, animated Trek, the unproduced episodes of the 70s, and all the movies, plus bonus chapters on the making of Deep Space Nine and Voyager.
Why would you put
Very
that down,
cool.
Christopher?
I put that down because this episode, where no sprite has gone before, interestingly enough, to me anyway, was written by one DC Fontana. DC Fontana was the lead story writer on the first 2 seasons of the original series of Star Trek. She also wrote episodes of the animated series, and she wrote, I believe, a couple of episodes of Next Generation, and I think 1 episode of Deep Space Nine.
Nice.
Do you know if she did any other reboot episodes?
She did not. She did write 1 episode of Beast Wars, however.
Have we reviewed that already?
We have not.
Anyone listening that's not familiar, Christopher and I do this, but for Beast Wars.
Yes.
And the show's called Too Much Energon.
It's a hit.
So, yeah, I have that to look forward to.
Yeah, the episode of Beast Wars that she wrote is later on in season 3, which at the time of recording right now we have not gotten to yet.
All right.
Yes.
So, what you're saying is the writer of this episode knows a thing or two about Star Trek.
I do believe you mean Star Trunk.
Star Trunk, yes. And there may be 1 or 2 references, just small little like hints that of her connection to the Star Trunk universe. But they're so subtle
maybe.
that you might miss them.
Yeah, it's very, very, very subtle homages.
Oh Christ!
There's this episode is very
Dumb.
Star Trunky.
Spoilers.
Well,
I don't think any of us are fans of this one. Not to bury the lead here, but
This is
it immediately opens with something we've never seen. AndrAIa's
this one
log.
deserves another Snidler cut.
oh shit.
But yeah.
Like it opens with
I'm doing
it opens with AndrAIa's log. Game date. unknown.
AndrAIa's lung.
AndrAIa's long log.
Her long. No, that's Matrix. Is that Matrix's long log? Is it the same?
Yep. That's what I was getting at.
She says game date unknown, and I'm like, oh no.
So
are we doing that?
So we already know the name of the episode is Where No Sprite Has Gone Before, and the episode opens with voiceover narration of AndrAIa's log.
Yeah.
Game date.
It's already pretty fucking on the nose, and they even hired someone who wrote for Star Trek.
Yeah,
like,
she talks about how
wow, guys.
if they don't find mainframe soon, she doesn't know how Matrix is going to, if he's going to give up like the search or whatever.
Yeah.
He even like angrily throws Glitch upon the ground, and Frisket picks it up and like brings it back to him.
What a good dog.
Yeah.
Gotta say, every season deserves a throwaway episode, and I gotta say, I was wondering when this one would come up with one. So
every season deserves a
throwaway episode. Yes. Hey, there's one in every season. There was a few in season 1.
I even find their animation in this opening scene kind of awkward looking.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but like just.
You ever remember that bad? No, it was okay. The MMO City of Heroes or City of Villains.
I never played it, but yeah.
These are some of people's like original characters, like original PCs in front, because immediately we're met with Like, some of them are designed well, and I'm like, oh, I like the long-haired one. I like the Rob, the non-guardian. Right? We're just bombarded with all these new characters, but like the
no.
Punisher ripoff looks
Oh.
extremely low quality
They're just
on his
they're
face.
they're un-mainframe. They're un-reboot.
My partner stopped.
Well, what
Like,
I
10
was
minutes in, she just didn't want to watch it anymore.
what I was referring to specifically was Enzo and AndrAIa in this scene, though, like their animation, like the way they move, like the way they're animated, the way they move
Oh,
in this
I
scene,
didn't
like
catch it.
it's very awkward looking to me.
Uno momento.
Oh, hey, cat. There's a cat here.
Oh shit!
No, I do
Get him a
agree
mic,
with
damn
that.
it!
I didn't catch what you were talking about the first time. So, but yeah, I do agree with that. It's like episode 1. Uh-oh, she wants out. Hold on.
Oh no!
Cal, where did you go?
I am here.
I'm forced to
I'm
vamp.
back.
So we got some of them that fly. There's like a Punisher cool dude with sunglasses named Powerlock. I've got the DVD copy, so it has the subtitles. Did either of you gentlemen notice that Powerlock's cigar has a little cherry on the end?
I did not. No.
Snidler, did you notice that Powerlock's cigar has like a little cherry on the end?
Yeah, it's lit, but it never burns.
Well, it's a physical cherry.
What?
Like it's a little fruit cherry. So
What?
maybe you know this, Snidler and Christopher, but the burning ember end of a
used to
cigar
smoke cigarettes
cigarette
and marijuana, so
is called
yes,
the cherry.
I'm familiar.
But
I'm looking
on
right at it. I
Powerlock,
don't see any cherry.
on Powerlock, it has a little stem and it's round, like there's a little
That's
like
funny.
pink cherry on the end. Yeah, so
Amusing.
there's a bunch of like City of Heroes, like supers, and one of them is Iron Man Bob. Like,
Yeah, he looks like
an
Iron
easier
Man.
way to describe it? Not really.
He's got the hair of Bob and the voice of Captain Kirk.
He's
Well,
built
very
just like
bad
Bob,
voice of Captain Kirk.
and his hair is exactly like Bob's.
Yeah.
So
But he sounds like this.
So
He
has the hair of Bob, a suit that kind of looks like Captain Atom, the voice of Cheetor, doing a Captain Kirk impression.
Yeah, that's an apt summary.
Yep.
And it's
Yep,
decent.
yep.
I like the voice work for Rob, the non-guardian.
Rob. Fucking Christ.
That's his name, isn't it?
It is,
What are
yeah,
their names?
it's just...
So all of these like characters,
And
one
Enzo
of
is
them
like,
an elf.
Bob? Because someone yells out, Rob, look out. And he's like, Bob?
That sounds just
Yeah.
like Bob. He
Giga
must
Girl.
be Bob.
Wow.
And they're being
And-
chased by like little tears, like little tear things.
Yeah.
And Giga Girl is like this big, like purplish, like Hulk-like woman, and she throws an Elastiboy, like clown, at the terrors, and he turns into a net and catches them.
Try and escape. I don't think so.
I don't think so. Who's got them covered? This voice.
Am I
The
Mr.
Elastic Eye.
Fantastic or what?
Am I Mr. Fantastic or what?
I know I'm jumping
Who
ahead,
designed this character?
but I fucking groaned when I watched that
man.
last night.
It's got like spider legs for hair. It's crazy.
Who's okay with this episode being released? Oh, you know what?
Whoever was okay with high code.
Maybe Powerlock's cigar, maybe it only looked like a cherry from the very front end. Because I'm looking at it on the side now and it looks normal. Anyways.
I noticed it before.
Yeah,
But
some
yeah.
angles it looks like a little fruit. Anyways,
I
he's got
didn't
a
think it did,
bazooka.
but I was willing to give you the benefit of the doubt.
I don't fucking care enough to. to go on. He's constantly antagonistic throughout the entire
He's just-
episode.
He's a jerk. This guy.
I like his voice.
Yeah. Whatever. It
So
is.
there's a
Doesn't
standoff
sound like
between Matrix
Alice Waiter.
and the Super Pals, and
Yep.
Iron Man
Super
Bob
Pals.
pulls out a yellow lightsaber, like just literally.
Well, I love how Enzo goes to like greet him as Bob, and the first thing he does is he points a gun at him.
Yeah,
And
he's
I was
"Bob,"
like,
and spins
that's
him
not
around.
how
and
I
with
would-
the gun.
It's not how I would check on someone to see if it was my best friend.
Put him up, Mister.
Or map, she.
But yeah, it's weird.
He's got a lightsaber.
I was just gonna
He has
say,
a
yeah.
yellow
So
fucking lightsaber.
Robert here
What are you
pulls out a
doing,
fucking
mister?
lightsaber. I'm like,
yeah.
this is Star Trek we're making fun of here. Like,
No, it's Battlestar Galactica. There's a little
Oh.
something in it for everyone.
oh, my mistake.
Battles.
And I
Star
should know
Wars.
since I'm wearing a Star Trek hat.
This is Gene Roddenberry's Andromeda. God damn it. Babylon 5.
Yeah. It's Alien Nation, I tell you.
Earth above and beyond.
Lex. It's just Lex. Computer animated.
I love. You remember the Lex?
Remember? Anybody remember Lex?
I never watched
was
Lex,
horrible.
but I remember
I loved it.
I
How
remember
dare
seeing
you.
commercials for it on Space back in like 1998.
How dare you say it was
Yeah.
terrible? How dare you?
Well, let's be honest. It was great.
For the
That's what made it
listeners,
so great.
Space was basically Canada's version of the Sci-Fi Network.
Yeah.
It doesn't
loved
even
it.
exist anymore, but it was around from the 90s
I loved
up
it.
until
That was
a
my
couple
favorite.
years
It's
ago.
now CTV Space.
It's CTV Sci-Fi,
Sci-fi. Sorry, that's
Sci-fi.
right.
and like
Yeah.
I haven't had
Bravo
cable for a
became
while.
Bravo became CTV Drama.
Mm. Which is
Dumb.
fair, I suppose. Yeah.
So they all put their
So now-
guns aside and fucking they resolve that they
I
they
see
don't
your
fight
Schwartz is
together.
as big as mine, mister.
Let's see how well you use it.
You use it. So Captain
This is
Captain Rob says, "Wait a second, you're not one of us, are you? There's like 6 of you. Of course he's not."
Really? Really? What was your first clue?
And he
Bob.
introduces himself. He's like, "Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Captain Robert Cursor, leader of the Hero Selective."
Leader of the West Coast Avengers.
Oh my gosh.
We're just as good as the regular Avengers, but we are located on the West Coast. Therefore, we are the West Coast Avengers.
We exist, I assure you. and so the TL and sorry, who's the Punisher guy? Roblox.
Hacksaws.
Power log.
There we go. He's like, you bad. No one's allowed to play the games. The user always has to win. And so he's. Is this an ASMR channel now? For the audio listeners, Snidler decided to rip open a Joss Lewis. It's very quiet packaging.
That's really coming through over audio. Like I'm shocked.
Yeah, very sensitive mic. It looks delicious though. I'm envious.
It's fantastic.
Wow, look at that. He's gonna open up his food ASMR channel soon on YouTube.
Yep.
That's a thing, by the way,
Tune in.
in case you guys
Oh,
were wondering.
oh, I know.
Food
ASM it is.
There was an episode of Sick and Wrong, probably like 5 or 6 years ago now, about AMSMR or a
BSNP.
what whatever the initialism is.
fantastic. It's better than I remember.
Decent,
Been
right?
like
I don't think I've
20
ever had
years
one
or
of
so?
those.
Motherfucking
I've not had a
Jocelyn.
Joe Lewis in a while.
He'll bring you one, I'm sure.
Yeah. Just email me and I'll ship you one. Via snail mail.
Okay, so
I'm poor.
because I don't want to spend like too much time getting into the very simple but extremely convoluted and stupid storyline of the episode, here is the TLDR. All of them were spectrals, these little sentient tears.
Yep.
Like things. They look like tears. It's a fucking Star Trek thing. They're little energy beings. Some are blue, some are purple, some are green. Anyways,
The lead of them is voiced by David Kay.
surprising and yet not. And these individuals here are weird. They used to be spectrals, but they took on a fleshy form because spectrals can't enter games.
Mm-hmm.
So they were originally made to go into the games and protect the system. But they don't want to do that anymore. They want to
Right.
return back to their spectral form, so they're refusing to do the games. But they're saying that they're refusing to enter the games because then they'll make the spectrals listen to them and revert them back to their original form. So they're essentially refusing to do their jobs because they want to go back to the way
yet,
they were.
later on in the episode, Captain Rob even says, "We would never intentionally do anything to endanger the system."
There's so many it's so bad. So on paper, while I'm saying it out loud, you're like, wait, this is kind of an interesting plot.
It's a very Star Trek plot.
Yeah.
Especially like
Except
TOS,
it's not really
early
delivered
next
decently.
generation.
It's very,
yeah. They even have like the spectrals. Yeah.
Yep.
The spectrals even have that like voice, like echoey like voice modulation filter that like a lot of aliens had in the original series.
In the original series, absolutely.
Yeah.
They even have like a green skin, like chainmail wearing lady with a lot of eyeshadow and very long eyelashes and huge pierced elf ears, like huge, like twice as tall as her head. Being the Vulcan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the episode.
Yeah, this is a interesting episode.
Isn't there like a transporter chief named like Spotty or something like that?
Yeah.
Booty.
Yeah.
Booty. Right.
His name is Booty. He has ice powers. So it's combining like superhero shit with like Star Trek stuff.
Star Trek v DC Universe Online. Dawn of
the Hero.
Sure.
But it does it so ungracefully and like on the nose isn't even the right term. Like shamelessly, blatantly, that it gets tiresome after 30 seconds, let alone an entire episode. I'm not even going to point out every single reference because it's painful. It's painful.
It's on the nose because like they hit you straight in the face with it with a cricket bat.
Yeah. It's like in the face.
Which is a shame because I like the design of some of the characters. I like Robert Cursor. Like I like the design of him. Also, Cheetor does a great job at actually like doing a convincing Kirk.
Captain Quark.
I really like the way he
yeah. I like the way he talks.
He's like, Guardian, I'm not familiar with that term. Anyways, they go to their secret lair.
Yeah, this is so fucking dumb.
The secret lair.
Like Enzo is just utterly convinced that like, oh, this Captain Rob guy could maybe be Bob.
At a conversation when it's just AndrAIa and Matrix, he says, well, we don't know how the web affects sprites.
Yeah.
right? Like maybe his memory could have been like wiped or something.
Which
Maybe
is a
this
fair
Bob.
point, but I'm like, dude, this guy just has the same hairstyle. Like, come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's an obvious resemblance and whatever. Anyways, the point of conflict is this, because again, if we go into the details of an episode that we kind of aren't even into, we're wasting everybody's time. Elastiboy Juggalo breathes out the spectrals
Yeah.
and they go into a containment beam inside of this like layer that they're in. It's like a big bat cave kind of thing. And they're holding them hostage, presumably as bargaining chips so they can force the spectrals to take them back.
Right.
So they're refusing to play games and they're taking hostages. So not really the good guys. But I mean,
No.
neither side are the good guys, which is the point of this episode.
Mm-hmm.
Geez, what happens? Yeah, I'm gonna yada yada, Aiden, unless either one of you want to point out anything important in the layer scene.
Yeah. I mean,
Go ahead.
I have nothing to add here.
Okay.
Pretty much.
There's a
pretty much
lot of
just
dialogue.
How it goes.
There's
You
a
said-
lot of
I don't
dialogue.
I don't think it's necessarily wasting time to go into like random details.
Okay,
No.
so
But like,
No.
I totally get it. This is an interestingly horrible episode.
okay, so
So
basically, like,
Was my
to,
TLDR right? Is
yeah,
that
totally.
kinda-
To
Yeah.
jump to kind of like springboard off of where Cal left off. Like, so AndrAIa doesn't really agree with what they're doing. She sees the spectrals being locked up by the Super
Heroes.
Friends.
yeah.
Yeah.
Being locked up by the Super Friends as being wrong, so she lets the spectrals go, and the Super Friends are all like, "The fuck did you do, bitch?" And so they,
Powerlock pulls a gun on her.
yeah, pulls a
Yeah.
gun on her, and
Matrix
like,
is like, fuck off, bro. Powerlock isn't even like muscly. He's like humorously over muscled.
he's proportioned
Yeah.
like Duke Nukem.
And he doesn't know.
Yeah.
Duke Nukem times 2? There's one scene,
Duke Nukem forever, Duke Nukem.
There's one scene where he's looking at AndrAIa, like checking out her butt. And he's animated really weird, and he's like a guy that skips his doing back exercises and he's all like lean forward like this. It is at 1 second. 5 minutes and 24 seconds, and it's like the animators just gave up. His head is way far back,
Oh wow,
and his
I'm
arms are way forward.
several minutes ahead.
Oh
of
my
this.
gosh, there it is.
Anyways,
Yeah.
he looks
Holy
so
crow.
bad. Did you find it, Snidler? Isn't that bizarrely isn't
Sorry?
that pose
Yeah, I
weird?
just saw it now. I just went back. Just like this weird like movement.
Powerlock has a picture of himself on his chest and on his gauntlet. I
Yeah.
just realized that.
He's it's very
Anyways, he goes,
tacky.
"You guys need to get out of here." I'm antagonistic this whole time. Anyways, I'm gonna jump ahead to where you guys fucking. are now.
I'm the loose cannon.
I'm the loose. He's supposed to be a shitty Punisher.
Yeah.
Anyways, they go, "Well, since your girlfriend lit the spectrals out, we must go on a hunt again. We boldly went where no spectral had gone before." That's a line.
That is actually a line, yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
There's so many lines. Like we can't. If
And
we
then-
wanted to torture everyone, we could go through every single reference, but we're not.
No. Catwoman
Basically-
shows up. Have we seen her
Oh!
before?
No, so she was hiding. There's more characters. Everyone, I forgot. There's, like colored like hexadecimal.
where did
She's
she
like
come
metallic red. She wasn't there
Yeah.
before. Also, the pink
It's
girl
like
wasn't there
Wolverine.
before. She was waiting
No.
in the base too, right?
Yeah.
And the pink girl can,
Multiplicity
like,
girl.
multiplicity girl.
That's
yeah.
right. That's right.
Every
yeah.
copy is like dumber than the last one.
I've actually never seen Multiplicity.
I did. When it came out. I was young.
That was great.
All I remember is that like when you like make a clone of a clone of a clone, they get like dumber and dumber and weirder and weirder.
Well, it's like when you used,
Yeah.
like, back in the day when you would take a cassette tape and just copy and copy and copy it.
Oh god.
Like, the quality would degrade with each copy.
Or a photocopy.
Yeah.
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 Same concept. I buy it.
Yeah, so I kind of like I said, I like some of the character designs. I like Cursor. I like Pixel. That's the Vulcan. I like the weird cat woman. Like they got cool designs,
She's just Catwoman. I don't know what her name is, and I don't care.
and I don't care.
Yeah.
But the bartender you mentioned, Booty,
Booty,
Yeah.
yeah.
Smooty McBooty.
Booty.
He even has a Scotty accent.
Kinda, yeah. It's like this Irish bartender type character.
How about a cool shake to temper?
a nice cool
But he
shake.
weirdly
Temper your
looks
tempers.
like
Silver Surfer a little bit.
Iceman.
he looks like Iceman crossed with Baron Zemo.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyways, there's a really corny line where Matrix goes to grab a drink at the bar and he almost sits down on like Mr. Not Tastic.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Hey, I'm sitting here." And you know that he wanted one of the women to sit down on him.
He
Like,
just
that guy
looks
is
like the type.
absolutely a pervert.
Yeah.
I don't want your
It
firm,
seems that way.
muscular, masculine buttocks on me. One of the women calls him Slim, and I only mention that because that's the one that like hulks up.
Yeah.
But
Giga girl,
later
yeah.
on, they make a "he's dead, Jim" reference, but she says "he's dead, Slim." And, fuck.
It's bad.
Anyway.
There's even a little snippet where they, I guess to lighten things up, where they have like there's like
Holy,
a
we
Stanley
spent
Cup
so
on
long in the
display.
layer.
Apparently, Multiplicity Girl's name is Copy Girl,
Copy girl,
according
Okay.
to the
They
closed
should have called
captions.
her-
like
They should have called
like
her
a Xerox.
CMP. Oh, Xerox Girl would have been funnier.
Yeah.
But Xerox is actually
They've-
a brand.
Oh,
They've got Xerox copy machines. Yeah.
Yeah.
Copy and printer.
It is a genericized eponym.
Looks like there's
one of those things like everybody calls like construction malls sledgehammers. Everybody calls tissue paper Kleenex.
Everybody calls
Yeah.
adhesive band-aids I just did it. Adhesive bandages band-aids. So,
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like one of those things where one brand becomes synonymous with
Yep.
everything. Like
Yep.
it. Yeah.
Genericized eponym is what it's known as.
Anyway, so the Super Friends, all of them, every single one go, "We trust you, Matrix, even though we just met you. You stay back at base, and we will go hunting for more hostages. We're the good guy."
Yeah.
And
Are you with us or against us?
they do a suiting up montage.
Yeah.
Again, that part's cool. Like, they're cool parts of the episode. And some of them can just fly, and others have to use zip boards.
Yeah.
I'm with you, but I'm against the hunt.
Yeah. Okay, you can stay here. Stay a while and snoop around.
Yeah, basically.
Booty will fix you a drink.
I only met you 10 minutes ago, but I'm perfectly comfortable leaving you in my
Leaving
apartment.
you at our lair. Yeah.
Believe it or not, I don't like the hunt any more than you do. Wee! I love the hunt.
Your impression of Captain Rob has like a slight Keanu tinge to it that I kind of love.
A little bit.
Nice. I wasn't going for that, but that makes it better.
Yeah, no, it's great. I love it.
So I don't know what AndrAIa did when everybody was getting ready to fuck her up because she lit the spectrals out. She lifted her trident and made a bright light and disappeared.
Yeah,
But-
that's something I've never seen before.
when everyone leaves, she just comes down from the ceiling. So it's not that she went
Yeah.
invisible or teleported. I think it was like smoke and mirrors. She blinded everyone momentarily and just hid. Right? Like a ninja throwing a smoke
Kind of
bomb
like,
or something.
kind of like Bob with the mattress. When he
Yeah.
turns invisible, where he takes up a bed and you just go.
Oh,
So
There-
like
Yeah.
no pillars for her to hide behind, though.
what's the
No.
magic term? Misdirection?
Ah, yes. Sleight
Abracadabra,
of hand.
Yeah.
Zimzalabim.
I do. No, Play 2 Verata was a different
Necktie.
episode.
Nickel. Yeah.
So they kind of butt heads because, like Christopher said, he's like, it could be Bob. And Andrea's like, no, Matrix. Maybe it is, though. What if we want to stay and be friends with Bob? And
And
she's
so-
like, well, I don't believe in slavery or kidnapping, so... And he's like, well, fine, and then leave. And she goes, I will.
And so here I'm like, okay, so you're going to side with this random dude that you just met who happens to have the same hairstyle as your childhood hero, and you're going to side with this motherfucker over your fucking girlfriend.
Yeah.
Really? Like,
It's just a squabble.
I just. Yeah. Then again, this episode is. This
They'll
episode
hate
is when
fuck
I
each
just kind
other
of.
later, and they'll be fine.
Yeah. There's got to be some deleted footage in Mainframe Studios of that.
Oh, I have some. Would you like to
I-
see?
I
sorry,
bet he
what?
would.
So Andrea meets up with the Spectrals.
Tweet at
She's
Gavin Blair. Please confirm.
Please confirm is this canon? And
Please
just link to a Rule
confirm.
34.
Deleted footage of.
So
Alright.
Andrea's talking to the Spectrals. And there's like crashing going on, and she's like, "Oh, what's going on?" And they're like, "Oh, there's tears opening. We must leave. System error. A new tear has opened. This is all your fault, bitch."
Is it, though?
And because she's a fleshling, a real word they use in this episode.
Yes.
And
Right.
she's like,
Yeah, that was weird because
Yeah.
they're not really made of flesh. They're computer sprites.
they're made out of flesh and blood now. Ever since they lost.
Yep, they're
Enzo left the
fleshlings.
game.
They are us.
And Andrea
them.
succeeds a skill check, a speech check, because she's like, "But I saved you earlier." And then they go, "Okay, follow us." And then she's friends with them.
Indeed,
Apparently-
you did. Yes. Come this way.
Walk this way. And then they fly away, and she's just running on foot. And I'm like,
What about your zip board? I thought you had it. Yeah.
It's in her other pants.
Yeah. There's a toonie in this episode. A giant toonie with the queen on it. I just
Is
noticed.
There's
Where?
a toonie, there's a Star Trek logo, and there's
So
a
around
Stanley Cup.
11,
Oh,
24,
yeah, okay, yeah, I noticed the Stanley Cup, yeah.
Yeah.
the Stanley Cup, and it says unlimited CG power on the giant toonie on the wall. Oh, anyone listening that thinks I'm fucking insane. One, yes, but two, a toonie is our $2 coin in Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got kind of like a goldenish, bronzish center, and the outside is nickel.
Yeah. That's the best we could come up with.
There, to the
Toonie.
left of the toonie, is a glistening diamond Beast Wars Season 1 T-Rex Megatron.
It was glistening.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a model of T-Rex Megatron from Season 1 of Beast Wars.
Amazing.
I can't believe I didn't notice that when I watched this last night.
I just caught all this now, yeah. So Matrix is hanging out, and the Super Friends return, and he's like, "Oh, I guess you guys didn't do well on the hunt, huh?" And Robert Cursor is like, "Probably just as well. We've got bigger problems."
There appears to be another tear, one that could possibly crash the entire system.
I kind of like Pixel. That's the Vulcan lady
Yeah.
in this.
Yeah.
She's, I don't know why. Could be the body chainmail. Could be the heavy eyeshadow. Could be the pierced ears. Maybe it's all of the above.
Who can say?
Maybe.
And Powerlock is like, "Herp derp derp, I'm clearly antagonistic towards you. I hope that I'm not the villain later. Nobody will see that coming." And and like he never has his hands free. He's like pointing and gesturing with like guns all the time.
Yeah.
And
There's this
he's
really
like, go ahead.
There's this really awkward exchange between Enzo and Captain Rob, where he's like, Captain Rob like references the tears, and Enzo is like, "Well, why don't you just mend the tear, Guardian?" And Captain Rob's
Yeah, like-
"No, not
Yeah,
Guardian,
Like,
Spectral."
Enzo, stop trying, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's like-
it was
Because he's like, "I can't
Weird.
mend the tear," and Matrix is like, "I can't." Sorry, Cursor's like, "I can't mend the tear in this form," and Matrix is like, "Then in which one, Guardian?"
Yeah.
Like-
yeah.
Like trying to gotcha him or something like that.
yeah,
Yeah,
it was
that was
awkward.
weird. And he's
Yeah,
like,
it was-
"No, Spectral. I just said that." Right? So
Stop
he's-
projecting on me, young man.
So
Yeah.
only one of the Spectrals is antagonistic towards AndrAIa, who's now in the
AndrAIa.
principal office, right?
Yeah.
And it's green. It's the only green Spectral we see.
Right, so
And he's
that's
like, "What have you
naturally
done?"
he's naturally going to end up
She's
being
doing
the
this
asshole.
all. Yeah.
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 And he's like, "What have you done letting a fleshling in the principal office?" And I just realized that all of the computers and the terminals in the principal office, it's like a giant tower, right? There
Yeah.
is a elevator. Why do the Spectrals need keyboards? And why would they need an elevator? It just showed some of them fly.
Yeah.
Right.
They can't use the keyboards. And even though she's not local to the system, AndrAIa like computer hacks and like ends up helping the Spectrals better
Maybe-
than they could.
Maybe if
Yeah.
because they can convert to sprite form.
It seemed like they can't. It seems like only those like 6 or 7 were chosen to take a flesh form, and they can't turn back without the help of the other Spectrals.
But maybe like all of this like infrastructure is set up for like so the Spectrals who have converted to sprite form can if they need them to help them out with things.
But because they went
Yeah.
rogue and they stopped playing the games,
Right.
okay, that makes sense because they did create them to defend the system.
Yeah. So they
Fair.
yeah.
This was made for the sprites.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. You got me there. Someone's clearly thought about this more than 30 seconds. So yeah, the green one was like, "How could you
32
How-
shares.
Yeah. It just took 2 more seconds. So the green one is like, "How could you trust this temptress of the flesh?" And I'm like,
Wow.
it's something like that.
Yeah.
And it's like
So-
it was a trick so she could gain entry to the principal office. And eventually she acknowledges this annoying Spectral and she's like, "Can you guys fuck off? I'm trying to help."
Yeah.
In the interest of full disclosure, I have watched this episode once since 1997, and I watched it last night at about 2 a.m. after I ceased playing Resident Evil 8 because I was getting tired.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I probably fell asleep about 15 minutes into the episode because I was like, wow,
You made
this
it
is
15 minutes in?
I was
My
like
partner didn't.
I was
My
like,
partner
wow,
pieced out
this
at
is
10.
I was like, wow, this episode's a pile of dog shit. So I
There's even
gotta
a 10.
for the listeners, I gotta be honest. I actually haven't seen all of this episode since
There's a 10
1997.
97. Wow. There's a 10. I only watched it once last night as well. There's a 10-second scene where the camera just shows on AndrAIa's hands operating just a generic like sci-fi terminal.
Yeah.
But the buttons are even more simplistic than they are. You know how in Star Trek at least there's like alien language and there's like
Yeah.
the buttons
Yeah,
are supposed
yeah.
to do. It's just big squares and rectangles that are like white or blue or purple. That's it. And she's just like hacking through it. And I'm like, did they just want to show off that they could animate hands moving?
I mean,
Someone got a
maybe?
hand fetish because she has long blue nails. I think they just wanted to.
The
show off how
shapes
they-
are kind of reminiscent of the shapes you would see on consoles in Next Generation.
They are, yeah, but just very simplified
Yeah,
versions.
yeah.
So AndrAIa finds out that there's one particular region that the tears have come from, which is odd, which means that they're not natural. Boom. And a whole bunch. When one unstabilizes a region, other tears start opening up. The green one, oddly antagonistic, the whole episode, runs off and says, "She'll kill us all!" And it flies off into the elevator and takes the elevator down. And I'm like, one, how does it press the button? Two, it showed them flying earlier.
Maybe it's telepathically or telekinetically pressed the elevator
It can
button.
maneuver buttons with its mind. Yeah. Gotcha. Canon
That's
now.
some Star Trek shit.
But they'll
Especially
probably come back to
TOS
this.
stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it really is. What a wild trip the original series was.
It's also not that great. I'm gonna say as someone who loves Star Trek. TOS has its moments, but it's kind of rough to go back to.
It has its moments. It has really good moments.
Next Generation has definitely aged much better. Also, those original cast movies are great,
Okay.
except for 5.
We jump forward to a scene where Robert Cursor and Matrix are sitting at like a bar table, and he's like, "Why do you keep calling me Guardian?" Matrix is like,
Finally
"You
asking the
remind me of
hard-hitting
someone I
questions.
knew." Yeah, he's like, "You remind me of someone I knew and trusted." And I'm like, "Does he?
It was very,
What about
very
him?"
heartwarming.
This is a conversation that's actually heartwarming and actually is one of the good parts of the episode. Matrix actually has some vulnerability here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I actually did like this, right? Like he's not, because I thought he was just going to be the muscly like action hero for the most part, and so for him to open up like this and admit that he lost somebody and that Cursor reminds him of that, I was like, oh, wow, good for this, this 30-second scene in this episode. Even Cursor says, "Hey, I might not, I might not be the person that you knew and lost, but I can be someone you trust."
Yeah.
And I was like, there's an odd line though. Matrix is like, "I believe you."
I believe you. And it's very soft. And,
nice.
What
I
about
like
him, other than the hair, reminds him of Bob?
That's because he doesn't talk like him. He doesn't have the same values as him. Bob
No.
would never like kidnap
no. There's no hunting.
anyone. He doesn't sound like him. Again, same hair, but like
It's the fucking hair. Like, that's all there is. It's
the
the
hair.
hair, and he has
He's
like
got the build.
same basic build as Bob.
Yeah.
have you ever walked up behind somebody that completely looks different, but they have the same hair and gone, "Hey, Dave.
I'll do you one better. I actually saw somebody on the bus one time. This was like a long time ago, and I thought it was somebody that I knew, and I went up to her, and I kind of like did this like to the back of
And
her
you
head.
grabbed her
Oh
ass.
no.
And she turns around, and I didn't react. I was just like, oh shit, play it cool. And I was just like, she's like, she didn't react horribly, which was fantastic because I thought I was gonna get kicked in the nuts.
Yeah, that's not
And
okay.
I was
Yeah.
just like, I thought you were someone else. I am sorry. Like I was just like, and she's like, that's all good. And I was just like, it's all good? Holy crap. I'm like, so I made a new friend. But it was great.
Oh, did you actually make a new friend?
Yeah, I did. It was really funny, but no, it was still super embarrassing.
Oh, I made
Wow.
a new friend, all right.
Pickup lines 101
Friend.
by AP Snidler.
I thought you were somebody else, but you have to like touch her.
Hey, baby, you come here often?
Anyone listening, please
Anybody
don't touch
listening
women on the
to
bus.
that? To anybody listening,
Yes.
I'm a good person. Okay, thanks. All right.
That went well, but please don't touch people on the bus.
Yeah, especially me.
Christopher
Yeah.
will go all kung fu on your ass. Okay,
He
so
will
very, very brief,
Captain's
funny
log you
aside.
across the face.
He will
ahead.
slap his captain's log against your face.
Yeah.
It won't be pretty.
I will be
No.
like, I will become like Derek Zoolander when Relax by Frankie Goes to Hollywood begins playing.
Yes. Yes.
You'll just have a shuriken.
Don't like being touched.
No, he stopped a shuriken, right?
That's fair. That is fair.
With Magnum. It's beautiful.
Oh, I just had a story. What were we talking about? I was gonna. Oh, so while we're on,
We were talking about Beast Wars.
Yeah. So,
We were talking
Cheetor
about-
says some Cheetor bullshit. The depth chart goes with his dumbass face. So I was in Tim Hortons.
Okay.
For any one listening not from Canada, there are some, but not many, Tim Hortons in northern U.S. states. But
More
Tim Hortons is like our
northeast,
Dunkin' Donuts.
Krispy Kreme.
And-
Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm waiting in line, goes up a bit, right? I check my phone. We're inching forward. I check my phone. And even though I'm on my phone, I hear the lady say, "Oh, next, please," right? And I didn't even have 2 seconds to react, right? I was just finishing what I was doing, like not even like 2-3 seconds. And somebody like taps me like from behind. And they're like, "Hey, you're next." I understand your people are impatient. They want to go through. But like not even like 3-4 seconds had passed. Right?
Yeah.
And I like put away my phone and I turn and I'm like, "Don't fucking touch people you don't know, man." Like loudly in front of everyone. And he just like looks at me and I'm like, "Don't touch me." And he just kind of like acts like I'm making a scene and he's like, "Oh, I'm just trying to like mumble something about, oh, I'm just in a hurry,
Yeah.
oh, blah blah blah." Hopefully he doesn't fucking touch anybody after that. Like it
Hopefully.
wasn't a big deal. He didn't like touch me in a weird place or whatever, but like I don't fucking know you.
Yeah.
Don't fucking touch me, dude. Use your words. Right? Like when somebody is in front of you and the light turns green, you don't get out and bang on their car. You just lightly beep beep and let them know
I've
the
been
light
tempted
turned green.
to.
Right? But like don't
Yeah.
fucking touch me, man. Doesn't matter who it is, doesn't matter. Hell, even if it's somebody that you think you know, right? You might startle them or something. Like don't fucking touch people. Anyways, that's my story of like somebody fucking touching me in public. And there's been like worse. I mean, I've done security for years and years. But like I don't know why, but I was coming home after a graveyard shift doing like security stuff. So I was actually on my way back from work getting something from my partner who was waking up, and just don't fucking touch me, man. Don't touch me to tell me to like hurry up too when like not even a few seconds have gone by. It's like people that honk at you the moment the light turns green and you haven't even hit the accelerator yet.
I just take longer.
So do I. I'm like,
longer.
oh, okay. I'm just gonna slowly accelerate.
Oh, all right.
At
Just gonna take my foot off the gas here.
at my
I'm
work,
glad I'm not the only one.
at my work, there's one cashier in particular who will page something, and then literally like 10 seconds later will page it again.
Yeah.
And it's like, and it's always like, grocery to till 6, please. Grocery to till 6. And then, like, if no one shows up within, like, a few seconds...
Who it is.
Yeah, you know who it is.
I know who it is.
And, like, if no one shows up within, like, a few seconds, she'll be like... she'll just repeat the page. And it's like... At least give us, like, time to actually get there.
60 seconds, maybe?
It was one time. I was paged from the back. I was way in the back, and I was the only one on, and the same thing happened to me, except he paged 3 times in about 30 seconds, and I was like...
Yeah, sounds about right. We talking about the same...
Could you even have walked there in time?
No.
If you had the item in your hand, could you have walked there in 30 seconds?
Are we by chance talking about the same lanky blonde?
Yep. The one who speaks in all caps? Yes.
Yep. Okay.
The one who never hears this?
Somebody that
Yes.
speaks in all caps.
She does. Everything is an exclamation, much like Robert Cursor.
Yep. That
On
woman.
ReBoot,
That
which
woman
we're
has
talking about, I think.
has energy.
Oh yeah. Anyways,
Fucking energy.
Too much energy.
too much.
There's... So, anyways, the dinner table conversation between Cursor and Matrix, right? They go, hey, we wouldn't cause the tears, right?
Forgot
The
what we were
Spectrals-
talking about this episode.
Yeah, the spectrals wouldn't cause the tears, so something else must be up, right?
Yeah.
And for the first time, usually he does this right away, mind you, but he's distracted. He takes out Glitch and he does system scan, and his eyes light up. Right? And we've seen him do this before in the last episode. He does a system scan and he goes, oh, I have some cleanup to do, aka going and killing Dinobot. So the viewer, the user is probably watching this and going, oh, okay, so there's clearly virus bullshit going on here. Pitting the two sides against each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going on a hunt. So you'll join us in our hunt for the spectrals.
Yeah.
Anything for you, Bob.
Not
I missed
Anything
you.
for you, Bob. I
anything.
love you. No, Matrix is like something worse. Dun dun. And so anybody watching, unless you're like a 10-year-old, you're like, geez, there's only 2 antagonistic people on both sides. I wonder who the bad guy is. Could it be one or both of the antagonistic individuals in this episode?
Girl.
God damn it. Are you implying that they're working together? Pitting both sides against one another?
2 viruses in one system?
No.
This has never been heard of. Oh, wait.
No.
2 viruses, one system.
This is
2 viruses, one
quality
system.
writing.
I love that.
Quality
I love
writing.
Oh god, this episode's dumb.
So AndrAIa is flying through the air. Now she's on her zip board. And the spectrals are like, so why are you helping us? And she goes, oh, we go from system to system, right? Trying to repair and like build up like broken systems and, you know, increase their morale, get them to start defeating games and fix any problems they're having. And she says, it's our prime directive. And I'm like,
oh, the prime directive line.
I had a Star Trek bingo sheet. And I'm like, this is like the third bingo.
I fell asleep very shortly after this. Because, like, as soon as I heard the Prime Directive line, I was like, oh my god. And I just straight up just like rolled over on the couch. Like,
But the
pulled a
funny thing
blanket
is, that's not the Prime Directive.
up. No, that's not the Prime Directive.
You're like, I'm not missing much. I'm just gonna do this.
Yeah.
So that's their Prime Directive, but okay, so Christopher, what's the Prime Directive?
So yeah, for the listeners, if you're not terribly familiar with Star Trek, the United Federation of Planets is beholden to their golden rule, essentially, which they refer to as the Prime Directive, which is to never interfere with the development of a species. So it's like
Particularly non-spacefaring
species.
species.
So they're not gonna like land a shuttlecraft like willy-nilly, like right in the middle of town square of a planet that's at the like pre-industrial era and be like, hey, here we are, because they recognize the moral and ethical problems with doing something like that. So if you show up to like, say, like a species that's still in like the caveman stage of development, and you show
Give
up
them an axe.
you
Don't
show up in a
blow their minds.
spaceship, and like they're just gonna be like they're gonna think that you are a deity, basically. And
Yeah. Fuck it, give cavemen lasers,
Oh,
man. Let them go
a
nuts.
user.
But yeah, so Prime Directive, don't interfere with specifically pre-warp civilizations.
It's specifically pre-warp.
Pre-warp, yeah.
Oh, okay. So it doesn't matter if we count as that right now. Where we are.
Well, and the Prime Directive was inherited from the Vulcan ideology. So First Contact didn't happen until Zephram Cochrane in the late 22nd century, like in the late 2100s, developed a warp engine for the first time, and on his like fateful inaugural like warp flight, it was detected by the Vulcans, and so the Vulcans were like, oh, this planet that we haven't given two shits about for like millions of years they've discovered warp technology. Let's go meet them. Let's introduce ourselves.
So the Prime Directive of Matrix and AndrAIa is to meddle as much as possible and try to fix the systems. So completely the opposite.
The opposite, yeah.
Yep.
But it's
Prime
their
Directive
Prime
probably,
Directive,
right?
okay?
You
Not
heard
the
me.
Federation of Planets. It's their Prime Directive.
I said it. The Prime Directive's lame. Come at me.
We're not Starfleet, bro.
What?
Set phasers to stun, motherfucker. Fucking pussies. We set phasers to kill.
Set my dick to slay. That puss.
Oh,
I would
Christ.
totally like disregard the
my.
Prime Directive, go back to like medieval England, and like give some badass motherfuckers some lightsabers. You heard me.
Be like,
I
Think
would
of how cool that would
I would
be.
totally
A knight with a fucking lightsaber.
I would totally
that'd be wicked.
completely disregard and disrespect the Prime Directive to go back to medieval England, dudes, to pick up some fine princesses to bring back to the present.
Historical babes.
Historical babes.
This is a history class, not a babe class. Well, those are some historical babes.
And I'd be all like, "Sup, royal ugly dudes? How's it hanging?" And they'd be all like, "Put them in the Iron Maiden." Iron Maiden?
Catch you later, Bill and Ted.
What number are we thinking of right now?
69, dude.
69, dude. Okay.
Anybody
Okay.
listening to this is our age, so there's no way
They
anybody
every
listening to this.
yeah, everyone listening to this gets all of this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you're not our age, all of this is awesome. Okay.
We're just the last like 5 minutes have been Bill and Ted.
Yeah.
If you're not our age, we are just royal old dudes talking.
Yes.
We're just royal ugly dudes.
Royal ugly dudes. Yeah.
Also, I think I found the show art for this this particular episode. I'll send it to you when when we're done recording.
Okay, so AndrAIa has a touching moment with the leader spectral here.
My browser just crashed.
Uh-oh.
So
Hello?
no, like it. Oh, that's fine. Like I can't actually watch the episode now. Boo hoo.
Oh, okay, that's okay.
Boo hoo! I can't watch this like god awful episode of ReBoot anymore.
So before I jump forward, there's a little moment between the spectral leader and AndrAIa, where she's like, he's all like, "Well, you and your partner disagreed with each other. Like, what will happen now?" And she's like, "Nothing ever keeps us apart. We've been through much worse."
Love and respect.
And she does, and he's like, "You shame me. The anger I feel towards my former brothers is not right." And she's like, "Hatred and prejudice never is."
Freedom is the right of all sentient beings, Megatron.
And then she takes out her like energy axe, and they duel atop Hoover Dam.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's exactly what happens.
Fuck.
Atop of the ruby mines of Burma.
No, actually, they don't fight each other in the ruby mines of Burma. They just get buried.
No, they fight each other over on top of the Hoover Dam, which is naturally located above the ruby mines of Burma.
Right next to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Spike's dad used to work there.
I mean, the Smithsonian Institute is in Egypt, right? Totally.
Yes. Yeah.
Transformers jokes, people.
Yeah. Oh, where the heck were we? Oh, AndrAIa, there's a shot of AndrAIa's butt. They fly away. All of AndrAIa and her squad of spectrals go to one particular tear, and we don't know yet, but we find out why this one's important. And as AndrAIa uses this piece of tech to like scan it, all the spectrals like make like an energy net around the tear, and then they push it in, and it dissipates. So spectrals naturally have the ability to mend tears.
You are what you eat.
Yeah, and they eat spectrals.
Yeah.
And they look like tears.
Yeah. And basically the summary is when they're like, "Hey, what's so special about this tears when there's hundreds in the system?" AndrAIa says, "Well, this one isn't natural. Someone created it." And the green one is like, "Huh, she's a liar. What kind of fool do you take us for?
Oh, gee,
Get her.
who created it?
Seize her." And I'm like, "Geez, I wonder who the bad guy is." And all the spectrals like start attacking her, like bouncing off of her, just trying to touch her disgusting fleshling body.
Yeah. I mean, I would.
So
And
disgusting.
And Matrix shows up with a Cursor holding his yellow lightsaber.
Spectral Bob.
And yeah, actually. And they're like, "It looks like you have a virus amongst your midst." And right away I notice Powerlock isn't in the group of Super Friends.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
And Frisket like barks at something, he sniffs the ground and like fucks off.
Yeah. He runs.
Yeah. So
He's on the
Glacius
case.
and Copy Girl and all the rest of the battle friends and stuff, they all go, well, none of us are viruses, and the Spectrals go, well, none of us are viruses. And they're like, well, we know everybody here. And I'm like, do you? The problems in this system seem a lot easier to solve and a lot more unbelievable than the last episode, gotta say, homies.
Yeah.
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 Anyways, yada yada yada. They don't trust each other. They end up like fighting or something. And no, they almost end up fighting. And Enzo's like, oh yeah, I have this, and takes out Glitch. And goes to scan the fucking Spectrals. And then everybody fights, and there's a fight scene. And AndrAIa does that Xena thing where she puts down like a staff or like something and goes, yeah, and she like spins in a circle and like kicks.
Does she?
Kicks a bunch. Yeah, she does that to Copy Girl. She spins on her zip board and with her trident and like spins in a circle and knocks all the Copy Girls away.
Yeah.
It's a little Xena-ish.
It's
Xena was out, yeah.
Yeah.
And there's all these like screen wipes that are like dun dun, which are like the different symbols of the heroes, I guess. And for some reason, Pixel, the Vulcan type lady, she like Vulcan nerve pinches some of the Spectrals. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense because they don't have.
That makes no
whatever.
sense. They
I
have
don't
no
care.
mass.
I don't even care anymore. Good
Yeah.
job, brilliant. Yes, Vulcan nerve pinch the masses of energy.
Nerve print.
7
Yeah,
out
nerve
of 10. Too much water. I don't even know where the
Anyways.
fuck we are in the episode. Like, I was able to get my browser relaunched, so I'm back
I'm
on the
18
episode.
minutes and 20-ish seconds in.
Okay.
And they stop fighting. The fights.
I was
They try to
already
make it
asleep by this
interesting.
point last night, so...
And they end up
Yeah.
talking to each other and going like, okay, like we need to resolve this. And he's like, hero, Iron Bob is like, heroes, stand down. And the Spectral leader is like, Spectrals, stand down. And they come at peace. And fucking Matrix is like, the reason why blah 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 is because you got a virus amongst your midst. And he points at his gun at the green one, and his eye like scans it and like glows red, spins around, has a little M on it.
Yeah.
And Glacius or whatever the fuck his name is like freezes the Spectral, and they catch it.
Sorry, what?
Enrique Iglesias?
Enrique Iglesias. Sorry, I think Glacius is like a Killer Instinct character. And
Oh, okay.
anyways, they capture this virus.
Wasn't he Booty?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, Booty.
Who cares? Who cares at this point? We're so close to being done.
So instead of shutting the fuck up, the Spectral virus goes, it doesn't matter what happens to me. My brother is still free. And I'm like, bro, are you not fully functional? You just fucked over your brother by telling them that.
Yeah.
What's gonna happen to my brother?
What?
What's gonna happen to my brother?
From another.
It doesn't matter what's gonna happen to your brother.
Christopher's a fan of wrestling.
Yeah.
Everyone. I don't know if anyone else caught that besides me.
Well, I'm wearing a wrestling T-shirt right now for the video viewers.
That's a great one. Just go up a little bit. Oh, I like that.
An American Nightmare.
The American Nightmare.
Cody
That's
Rhodes. Cody
yeah.
Rhodes, the son of the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes.
Amazing.
Nice.
So let's fucking jump to the last scene here. So they go, geez, well, that's one virus down.
I'm
Let's
gonna
go
use
find
the
another."
washroom while you guys do that.
You will. Okay, yeah. Go.
Okay.
Yeah. So Aiden, we're in the principal office. There's some like knocked
Yeah.
unconscious piles of spectrals. Did you notice that?
Hang on a
There's like
second.
spectrals not moving, just like sitting on the floor. So presumably Powerlock
Oh my gosh, there are. I didn't
killed
even
some of them.
realize that. That's funny.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah? So presumably
Yeah.
Powerlock knocked them out or killed some spectrals.
Yeah.
Because he's fighting
Like
with
he does.
Frisket. He's like has
Oh
a
yeah.
chair and he's like lion taming.
Back animal. What is happening? Why? Why my neighborhood all the time?
They're coming for you. I like how
Sirens.
it's an office chair.
Huh?
This is a generic office chair and he's like keeping Frisket back.
Oh yeah, yeah. Wait. In the world?
Where in the world is AP Snidler?
I'm right here. Right here. All right. So we're at the principal office, and yeah, there are spectrals, and Frisket is
Trying to
going
attack
crazy.
Powerlock.
And Powerlock, how is he not able to just take the chair from him? Because Frisket can play catch with a cannonball.
Because plot. Because Matrix and the gang is supposed to show up. And indeed, they do come up the elevator.
It's true.
And Powerlock is like, hey, Matrix, about time you got here. Call off your mangy mutt. And it's Matrix, some Spectrals, Cursor, some other Super Friends.
Yeah. And
Powerlock lies. He's like, I followed the light bulbs into the
light
principal
bulbs.
office.
Yeah.
It's a good thing I did. And it's an obvious lie. He's like, I caught them opening a new tear.
Yeah.
And
So,
the Spectral
one
leader...
Spectral's like, well, maybe they're viruses as well.
The Spectral leader is like, oh, well, I guess all of them were viruses. Good job, Powerlock.
And
I
Matrix
do not know that lies exist.
And then Matrix just like, okay, well, there's only one way to find out, sniff Frisket.
Yeah. And he sniffs some of the dead Spectrals, but then he goes back to Powerlock.
Yeah.
And I'm like, didn't we already establish that's why Frisket was fighting Powerlock? And Matrix's eyes like narrow, and he's like, Frisket always had a nose to find viruses.
Yeah.
And his eye like
zeroes in.
Oh, so
Target locked.
Powerlock lifts up a bazooka, and he says, "Hey, get away from me!" And he backs up, and there's a giant red button that says "Don't press."
You're gonna have to go put gas in my car.
We got a surprise cameo on the show.
Now, for a word from our sponsor.
We actually didn't break for a Patreon ad this episode.
No, we did not. We could do it
Well-
right there if you like. Where were we?
Yes.
Should I wrap this up, or should we do a break?
No, let's just keep going.
Okay,
Just
so
keep going.
Powerlock is like, with the press of this button, the entire system crashes, and I'm like, who would install that button?
I know it says "Do not press." It's this big, comically large.
Why would
red button.
anybody that created the principal office put a button in that crashes the entire system?
Why does every starship in every single sci-fi thing ever have a self-destruct sequence?
So that your ship doesn't fall into enemy hands.
Yeah.
I mean, do aircraft carriers out at sea like sink themselves when they intentionally sink themselves when it seems like they're going to lose a battle?
No, enemies usually sink them.
Right.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't the like that apply in space as well?
Well, on Earth, they're so heavily manned that the idea of people coming on and taking over an aircraft carrier with like military trained personnel with weapons on it is almost impossible. But in sci-fi, it makes it seem like boarding and taking over a vessel is possible.
Mm.
You have any idea how many people are on the USS Enterprise D?
And yet we only ever see 15.
It's like 11.
Presumably there's thousands.
It's like 1,100.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
presumably you only need to defeat the captain and the bridge crew.
And indeed, it's happened.
Yeah, but same thing. You're right. There's hundreds or thousands of people on these gigantic ships.
Yeah.
Like, defend yourselves. Why is there only like 5 people with phasers?
And they're like, well, things aren't going the way we planned. Initiate auto destruct sequence. Yeah.
That's a good point. All those civilians working? Fuck them. We're blowing the ship up. It's like, Captain, there are hundreds of people with families.
Well, we'll blow them up too.
Fuck them. That's a very good point, man. There are hundreds or thousands of people on these giant ships. And they're like, fuck it. We might lose. Let's blow up our own ship.
Yeah, and it's always like
the
2
likelihood
people.
Of that,
the captain and the first officer just like get to decide the fate of like over 1,000 people.
You know what? I'm with you. I don't think that would ever be installed.
No. 100%. Like, no.
Yeah.
Never. Like, it creates
you
dramatic tension for television, but like, no. No, never.
No. I can't think of any reason why that would ever be a thing. It's like, well, 2 Borg got on. What are you gonna do?
Sorry, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, would you want to become like a tech zombie, or would you rather blow up and die?
Well, they can reverse assimilation.
Oh, they can. You're right. I was just thinking about that.
True.
They've done that multiple times.
Yep.
So neither.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
I'd be stealing a shuttlecraft and be all like, see you later, fuckers.
fuck all y'all.
Initiating warp factor 4.
Okay, so I'm gonna wrap up this thing. Something really dumb happens, and I hate it so much.
Okay.
Power lock and the spectral leader like mash, because the spectral leader's like, no, and like boops him a few times, and power lock shoots the ceiling, and a little tin roof area, I don't even know why it's there, because they're inside, they're indoors, but it couldn't weigh more than 20 pounds, falls. Everyone gets out of the way, and Cursor is like, Matrix, watch out, and pushes him out of the way, and something that couldn't even kill like maybe a small child, but definitely not a grown Iron Man, falls on Cursor.
Okay.
And he's like coughing, and Matrix like gets up, he's angry, and for some reason Powerlock puts his gun away and takes out his like his arms in like a martial arts stance to like fisticuffs the Spectral.
yeah.
And I'm like, you're gonna punch the energy being? What the fuck is wrong with you? You're a virus.
That's too weird.
And Matrix is like, I've had enough of your shit, and he just fucking shoots him dead.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, thank you. Can we just have more of him just fucking shooting people dead? In fact, everyone looks away.
This entire episode.
There's all this bright light, and there's kind of like a weird shrieking sound, like we've heard from the web creatures before.
Right.
And
You
there's like a
terminated.
Wilhelm scream or something. I can't quite remember. And just his cigar like falls on the ground. And there's a weird moment where AndrAIa steps forward with her heels, like a dominatrix, like rubbing her heel, and she like snuffs out his cigar. And we see the snake skin like boots she's like wearing, and I'm like, somebody has a foot and a hand fetish that directed this episode, because it's zoomed in on her hands multiple times and now her heels.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just me. So Matrix comes over to, I don't know, Giga Girl, whatever the fuck her name is. And Cursor is like, dying. Tell me that the system isn't in danger. And he's like, good. because where I go alone.
And he
Just turns into
energizes.
energy. And Giga Girl is like, he's deleted, Slim. And I'm like, is that cringy or clever? I
Yes.
can't tell.
Cringy.
Yes. Cringy? What's your vote, Snidler?
It's
It's a play on "He's dead, Jim," which is a
Yeah,
recurring
Yeah,
original
yeah.
series line.
I'd say it's
It's cringe. It can be
yeah,
clever and cringe,
yeah.
or neither.
Yes. It's
Captain's
yes for me.
Captain's log supplemental. This will be my last log entry ever, because I am in fact dying. Here I go. Blah.
Where
Beam
no
me
one has
up.
gone before.
Beam me up, God.
So there for those who haven't seen it, Captain Kirk actually does die in a Star Trek movie.
Whoa! Spoilers. Go on.
It's a film
Kidding, we've
from
all seen
Star
it.
Trek Generations from 1994.
Yeah.
Captain Kirk dies in that film.
Fairly
for-
famous scene.
Yeah, so for all the for how much William Shatner's acting gets parodied in pop culture and well in just daily life, his death scene, like his acting performance in Kirk's death scene in that film is surprisingly great.
It's a famous scene, and I sometimes just go on YouTube to watch it.
So for the listeners, if you haven't seen it, some like stuff like tramples on him, like some heavy stuff falls on him and he's crushed and he's dying, and Picard like comes up to him and he just like says some like, you know, like final stuff, and he kind of just like looks up and his eyes kind of like glaze over and he's like, oh God. And then nothing. It's a pretty powerful death scene for someone who is known for just being like a really over the top, like easily easily imitatable actor.
Well, it's jarring, and like death isn't always like heroic or graceful.
No.
So it's jarringly realistic,
Yeah.
right? Like he doesn't go out in some like epic duel. He doesn't have like some like huge like quip that he goes out with or whatever. It's gritty and like sad.
Yeah. Yeah, it feels very honest.
Honest is the word. Yeah. I can't say that about this episode because as we wrap it up, Pixel, the Vulcan alien, and the leader Spectral is like, we will do our best to work together and defend like the system, thanks to you. And in Cursor's name, we promise this.
In Cursor's
And
name,
yeah.
we say, Amen.
And we say, live long. Live long and mend.
Live long,
but yeah.
and may the Force be with you.
Live long and may the Force be with you, royal ugly dudes.
There it is.
And yeah, and so puts his hands on his like hips and he's like, you have to work together to mend and defend. Without it, all this would be for nothing. And I'm like, man, the only good part of this episode is how fondly Matrix talks about Bob.
Yeah.
Which is like 15 seconds of the episode. And then a new game comes down and bada boom, they're out of here.
Bada
turn
bing,
around in slow
bada bing,
motion.
bada boom. They're out of this system, you know.
And then they're
Big
gone.
fucking deal.
Big fucking deal.
Yep. Roll credits. Done. Finished with this one. This has been Alphanumeric. I've been your host. Good night. I'm just joking.
So
This is actually shaping up to be one of our shortest episodes in a long time.
It's
Yeah.
okay as long as we have fun.
As long as we're done.
Before
As long
I
as
let
we're done.
Snidler do the outro spiel, any final things, gentlemans, that we want to talk about?
I didn't even see the end of this episode, so
Okay.
No.
No. Okay. Go ahead. Let
Here
us
at
know what the
Alphanumeric,
rating
we
is.
have a 4-tiered rating system. From that was bad, that was very bad, to I don't think so. And then we have that was easy enough. And then we have alphanumeric, which is like top of the top of the top. I'm going to start with Christopher Siege. Where are you at on this? What are your? Let's hear it. What do you rate this episode?
I am giving this I'm gonna pull a Snidler and give it an alphanumeric because I love ReBoot, and this episode was, it might not have been great, but it was still a ReBoot, so it's getting an alphanumeric from me.
Don't lie. Don't you fucking lie.
Please.
No, I'm gonna. No.
You have to think about it. No,
I'm gonna give it a very low.
Indeed.
Indeed.
Do you want to think about it? And
I
can
do,
go?
yeah.
This was bad, very bad.
Neocal. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is bad. It is. Holy cow, is it bad? I like fucking high code levels of bad.
How bad is it, Fong?
Is it very
Is
bad?
It very bad?
It's very bad. Like, this is shockingly bad. The redeeming moments are the moments between AndrAIa and Enzo, but they're few and far between because there's this fake conflict that is introduced to make them like split apart and take different sides. All of the Star Trunk references are so heavy-handed and ungraceful and don't fit properly at all. When AndrAIa makes Star Trek references, it's fucking weird and it doesn't match what they're going. Like I said, she talks about the Prime Directive, but it's nothing like the Prime Directive.
Well, yeah, and the episode opens with her being like AndrAIa's log, like, which is
got,
not
a recorder,
which isn't a thing.
It's not a thing.
It's not a thing in any other episode of the show.
We don't see it again. We never saw it before.
Yeah.
And we don't see it after. And the plot is so jarringly boring, but you can see it coming a mile away.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Powerlock is immediately antagonistic. So you're like, geez, I wonder who the bad guy is. Is it the guy acting like a bad guy? And the Green Spectral is all like, how dare we trust the fleshlings? Ah! And it's just fucking bad. Like I said, my partner stopped watching 10 minutes in. And
it feels like 1960s TV writing.
It really do.
So I'm gonna go with I'm not giving it a complete like bottom tier rating. Even though, like, I really didn't fucking like this episode, I'm giving it a very low, I don't think so. Just because...
They're right there.
One, I think it's cool that for their, like, fake Star Trek episode, they actually got DC Fontana to come in and write it. One, I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
But that doesn't change the episode.
No, it doesn't, but I just feel like that's worth pointing out.
Okay. But that doesn't change your rating.
The show very authentically feels like a shitty episode of the original series of Star Trek.
It doesn't feel authentic to me. It feels so freaking forced. That's why I
Yeah.
couldn't give it anything higher. Like badly forced. I know what you mean though.
The
It's like-
references are extremely on the nose and forced, but like the tone and the like
The plot.
the tone, the plot, and the kind of campiness to it feels very TOS. So on
I
one,
don't know why it was mixed with superheroes.
yeah, I don't
like-
get that either. It's a bad episode, but it's not quite high code bad. So, like I said, it's a low. I don't think so.
Okay, it barely reached the I don't think so.
It barely reached. It barely like crossed the threshold, but it did slightly cross the threshold for me. I say as someone who, as I mentioned earlier, fell asleep. Like I gave up on the episode, like after. Like between the 15 and 20-minute mark, so I didn't even finish it.
All right. That leaves us with the Snidler.
That was bad. That was very bad.
Wow.
I don't have an explanation any different than the two of you. I'm gonna go closer to NeoCal on this one in the way that it was bad camp acting, and it was just
I like the design of some of the characters, but we don't see them again.
yeah, exactly. I don't.
So the interactions are short and
it's-
shallow.
It's maybe a little better than High Code,
That's how I feel.
but it's bad.
A little.
It's very bad.
I
So-
had to, mister.
Definitely
That's it.
make it so.
That's all I got to say about it. We've covered the references. We've covered the characters and the lack of development, and Cursor dies.
So
Fuck that guy.
okay. So
Glad he's dead.
here's the thing. Formulaically,
Only
it's
Bob
not
gets to
that
have
much
that hair.
different. There can be only one. We can't go a single episode without referencing Highlander. So last episode, it's almost paint by numbers the same. They show up to a system, they help the system, then they leave again, right?
Yeah.
But there's something so nice and real about last episode and the binomes, whereas all of the characters in this, all of the supporting characters in this suck. All of them. Not a single one is
I'll
interesting.
go along with that.
But I loved the binomes from last episode, so guys,
Yeah.
like if you can make binomes like relatable and cool and funny. Anyway, I'm done with it.
I think this is probably the most sprites we've seen in one episode.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. They
Super
didn't actually
proud.
play a game in this episode.
No.
No.
Didn't need to. They had lots of
No.
long talks and flying around and bickering.
They played the game of love.
Yeah.
Did they?
Yeah.
I
That
think
might
they
have been
did.
more interesting. So,
They played the game of life.
and death.
That too.
All right, so what do we got here? We're done. All right, we're done.
I think we're
outta
done.
here.
That's the episode. I have been your host. Sorry. Hey,
Where-
P. Snidler.
Where can people find us, gentlemen?
Oh, and people can find us all sorts of places. You can find us anywhere you hear podcasts. Find us on Spotify. You can find us on Facebook at our Facebook page, Lasercomb Productions. Is it Lasercomb Productions now, or is it Lasercomb Podcasts? Last I checked, it was Productions.
It's just facebook.com/lasercomb.
The quick
Oh, okay.
link.
There we
yeah,
go.
is Lasercomb.
Facebook.com/Lasercomb. You can also hear all of these podcasts at alphanumericpodcast.com. .ca. Sorry.
Don't worry, I do that too.
Alphanumericpodcast.ca.
I like how you knew what I meant when I did that.
Yeah.
My gang
Actually
sign.
okay. I didn't see it first. If you wish to follow us on Twitter, you can Christopher Siege at Lasercomb. You can follow NeoCal on Twitter at Neo_Cal
With a
With a
K.
K.
and you can follow with a K, and you can follow me AP Snidler at AP on Twitter. Am I forgetting anything?
So, Cal, you know how I've maintained in the past that like even not great Beast Wars is still better to talk about than not great Reboot?
Yes, you have definitely said that.
And we have just had a double header of not great episodes of both shows.
Oh God.
And
Correct.
I gotta say, I think my long-standing point is still ringing true.
Yeah. Yeah. Terrible episodes of Beast Wars still rise above bad episodes of Reboot.
Yeah.
Because at least there's character back and forth.
We'll have to have the Snidler on an episode of Too Much
We will.
Energon sometime. Soon. It's got to happen.
Soon.
Got to make it happen. But we're running out of time here. So
We are.
I've been one of your hosts, Christopher Siege.
I've been another host. You can go ahead. I'll go
I've
last.
been the second host, NeoCal.
And I've been another host, AP Snidler.
And until next week, Beast Mode.
Live long and prosper.
Where I go alone. Take care, everybody.
Crab hands.
Crab battle.
Rampage. Attack.
Bye-bye.